I open Jupyter notebook. Now if you want another window, you can go to file. Okay, another window means another notebook. Here go to file, new, and notebook. Okay, it is going to open another notebook. You can select 3 point something. Now here untitled is there, right? Okay, this is the one. Now functions 2. Just you can rename it. Okay, na? Functions 2, you can rename it. Okay, so yesterday what we discussed, where we stopped yesterday's session. Okay, I'm going to ask some questions, just you can answer it. What happened? If I run this one, what is my output? If I run this one, what is my output? Anyone? If I run this one, what is my output?
VTS.
Undefined.
It is called as indentation error or not? What I said? Definition, function name, function representation, and a colon. Okay, function body should follows what? Indentation, right? Here, is it follows the indentation? Here is it follows indentation. In Python, indentation is important. Is it follows indentation? No, right? So that it gives me an error like what? Okay, here it gives me an error like indentation error, expected indent block or not after the function definition. Yes or no? Okay, now when answer is like VTS, when the answer is like VTS, if you follow the indentation, okay, now there is no error. But VTS, when you can get it? When you can get the VTS? You
Is
define
it
a
called?
function whenever you call it, right? Whenever you call it, am I call the VTS in the past? No, right? Yes or no? Okay. Okay, then the next one. Now
Syntax error.
it's a kind of what? Syntax error or not? Syntactical, it's invalid, right? Okay, it gives me a syntax error. Now, is it gives me an error? If I run this block, it gives me any error? If I run this block, is it gives me any error? No. Okay, it's like normal only, right? Function definition, function body with indentation. Okay, now tell me exact error.
Integer is not callable.
Integer is not callable or not? Integer object is not callable. Why? You are passing like 10. A value is what? 10. Based on the usage, A, you are expecting what? A, you are expecting like what? Based on the usage, A, you are using like what?
Function.
You are using A like a function. But is my 10 is a function? You supplied 10 integer, but you are using like a function. Is my integer is a function? Is my integer can callable? No, right? So that it gives me an error like what? Integer object is not callable. Yes or no? Okay. So to get the output is like such in, what is the code snippet I have to write? My question is very simple, straight question. Okay, I'm going to write in our notepad. You can easily understand. Okay, the question is to get the output is such in, can you fill above gap. Okay, that means to get the output like this gap, can you fill it? Can you fill that gap to get the output is like such? While calling this function to get the output is like such in, fill the gap. Hmm?
Yes.
Come on. To get the output is like such in. Okay, we have a function, we should have to call the function, right? I have called it. If I run this one, what is the output? This one only. If I run, what is the output? If I run like this only, what is the output?
String is not
Parameter
good.
is not.
Parameter mismatching, right? Missing one required functional, okay, required parameter, but you not supplied anything, right? It's a parameter error, first of all. It is like a parameter error or not? Yes or no? Okay, now come here. Come on. To get the output is like such in, fill this gap. If I call like this, it gives me an error parameter. Next, to avoid that parameter error, how many parameters you need to pass? How many
That
parameters you need to pass? One. So you have to pass one parameter or not? Okay, perfect. One parameter is required. What is the type of the parameter?
function.
What is the type? How we can say it's like a function?
In the function body, we are calling that.
Yeah, based on the usage, you can say. In Python, there is no type for the variable, but based on the usage, you have to decide the type or not. Based on the usage, okay, I can decide like what? A is what? Based on the usage, I can say A is what?
Function.
I can say A is a function or not. I can say A is a function. Yes or no? So while calling my fn, you have to pass one parameter. The parameter type should be what? Okay. Now talk something about the fn now. Okay. My fn is a function. Parameters, how many?
One
One parameter. Okay. Type of the parameter,
function.
type of the parameter, it's like a function type or not? Yes or no? Okay. So can I call it fn? It's take one parameter, so you have to pass like a one parameter. The type of the parameter is like a number, no, stringer, no, lister, no, setter, no. I have to pass what? One function. If you want to pass a function, first of all, function is required, right? You know, right, how to create a function? How many functions
Yes.
you can create? Any number of functions you can create. So can we create one more function? Can I create one more function? What is my function? Can I create one more function? Is it right way?
No.
Is it the right way? No, right? Here also function name fn, here also function name fn, right? So that there may be chance of what? Override or not. So can I write one more function name? Can I write like this? Hmm? No, can I do one thing? While calling this function, can I pass my fn? Now tell me, my fn function. Fn is a function. So I called. Take how many parameters?
One
One parameter. Type of the parameter is what? Function. My type of the parameter. My f1 is which type? My f1 is which type?
function.
Function only or not? My f1 is like which type? My f1 is like a function only or not? Agreed with me? Satisfied or not? Hmm? Okay, now see one by one. You are calling fn is nothing but you are calling this one. You passed one parameter. So that parameter hold with a. So a is what? A is f1. Wherever a is there, okay, that is like what? F1 only or not? Okay, now this statement, how it looks like? How it looks like? You are calling what?
F1.
F1. Whenever you call F1, what is my value?
Such.
Sachin. So my output is like what? Sachin only or not? Yes or no? Agreed? Ah? So for good, everyone. Okay, so can we write the same thing here? Write it. Can I write one more function? Yes. Can I write like a based on the output such? Yes. Can I run it? Syntactically 100% valid. Can I call my fn by passing what? F1. My fn is what? See this. Take one parameter. The parameter type is like yeah or not. Now, can you come here? Can I refresh? Now the value is like what? Such. Agreed. All are okay. So for good. Any questions? Anyone? No? Okay. Can I write one more? Just you can answer it. Okay, already fn and f1 is there, right? Okay, let me take some other different names. Did you observe this one? Is it valid syntax or invalid syntax? First of all, it's valid or invalid? Can anyone talk something about f2? My f2 is which type? f2
Function.
function. Parameter how many?
No.
0, no
Zero
parameters.
parameters or not? Function body contains what?
Another function.
Another function. Okay, function body contains define another function. Okay, second statement is what in the function body of f2? You are
Calling
calling
that function.
another function or not? Now, can I run this one? That means there has one function is there. You can define one more function. Inside of the function, you can call one more function syntactically valid or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
Inside the function, you can write one more function, no problem at all. That is like a inner function, no problem at all. At the same time, inside the function, you can call one more function also or not? Syntactically 100% valid or not? Syntactically 100% valid or not? Okay. Okay then. Now, if I call f2, what's my answer? If I call my f2, what's my answer? If I call f2, what's my answer? If I call f2, what's my answer? Simple. Don't think more. What's my answer? What is my answer? Sachin, right? Why? Simple, right? Don't see. You are calling which function? You are calling which function? F2.
F2.
That means F2 body will execute. So in the F2 body, what we have? You define a function. You define a function means just you declare one function without syntactical errors or not. Yes or no? This is like a function definition. You just defined a function. That's it. Okay. Now this is what you call that defined function or not. Whenever you call that a function, okay, my function body is what? Whenever you call that function, the function body is what? Whenever you call that function, my function body is what? Sachin. The Sachin only printed or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Agree with me?
Valid.
Okay, na? So I'm going to write one more code snippet. Answer this. Syntactically valid or invalid? Syntactically valid or invalid?
Valid.
Syntactical 100% valid. What I said, in the function you can define one more function, no problem. You can call one more function, no problem. Yes or no? Okay, now if I call my f4, what happen? If I call my function, what happen? Okay, see, simple. F4 you called is nothing but body executed or not? Yes or no? Inside the body, first statement is what? You define a function f5. After second, okay, after first statement, what is my second statement? Call f5. Whenever you call f5, you call what again?
F4.
F4. F4 is nothing but this one or not? In the F4 what? Again define a function, call F5. My F5 calls what? F4. My F4 again comes here. Define F5 and call F5. Okay. Now it's a kind of what? It's a kind of what? Continuously it's going to call or not. See this. Maximum recursion depth exceeded or not. Yes or no? It is like what? Recursively call it or not. Continuously it is going to call or not. Yes or no? F4 call F5. F5 call what? F4. Okay, again it comes to F4. Call what? F5. Okay, F5 again call what? F4. F4 call what? F5. F4 call. Yes or no? Hmm? It is which error? It is which error?
Sir.
Recursion error. Recursion error or not? Okay, na? Up to here, okay, everyone? Can I write some other examples? Write it. See. What happened?
Function not defined.
Okay, can I remove this one? Okay, first this statement, okay, na? 100% valid or not syntactically? Syntactically 100% valid or not? Yes, no? Okay, na? So I'm doing like this.
F7.
F7.
So not defined.
You're right. F7 is not defined or not? Why?
It was under F6.
It is inside F6, right? It is inside F6. Okay, so which one is available to you globally? F6 is available. You can call F6, but F7 inside the F6, right? So we are not access. Okay, we can see at the time of okay, oops discussion. Okay, inside the function what happened. Okay, one variable is there outside. How we can get that variable? All this stuff we'll see. Okay, now I can say like local variables and global variables. Two types of variables are there. We are going to discuss that one now. Okay, now the problem here, F7 inside where? F6. So my F7 is like a local to F6. So if it is like local, you can use inside the F6 block only. But outside you used or not F7, then the time, what is the error? F7 is not defined or not? Yes or no? Got my point? Name is like a Sachin. Okay, here. Okay, na? My name is like Sachin. My F8 contains like what? Location. Now here, can I write like print name? Can I write like print location? Possibility there or not there? Now, syntactically valid or not? Syntactically 100% valid. If I call my F8, will it work or it gives me an error? Will it work or it gives me an error? Come on, don't think more. Come on. Will it work or it gives me an error?
It work.
Is not defined.
No, right. See, you defined name. Okay, in the notebook, you defined name. This is not inside any function, right? This is not inside any function. Now, if it is like inside the function, I can use inside the function only. But name inside the function, outside the function, you defined
Outside.
outside the function. We can say this function, I can say like a global. Okay, global. Okay, this particular variable is like a global. If the variable is like a global, the lifetime and the scope is what you can use wherever you want in the notebook. You can use wherever you want in the notebook. Okay, so my name is like a global one. So after the definition, you can use this name wherever you want. So I use it where? Inside the F8. Yes, possibility there or not there. Why? Because it is like a global variable or not. Yes or no? So my print name. What about LOC? What about LOC? LOC inside where?
Right.
F8. So you can use LOC inside F8 only, but outside F8, see name. I can see the name. Okay, location. Can I see? Location, can I see? No, right? Location is not defined. Why? Name is a global variable. You can use wherever you want, but location is inside where? But location is inside where? Tell me, location is inside where?
Function. Body.
Inside the F8 function. So the scope is what? So the
Fingerprint.
scope is what? F8 only. But you use it where? Inside the F8 or outside the F8? You use it where? Line number 22, line inside this function or outside the function?
Outside.
Outside. So local variables can I use out of the scope? No. So that it gives me an error like what? LOC is not defined. But global variables, you can use wherever you want. Okay. Inside the function, you can use it. Outside the function also, you can use it or not. Agree with me? Come on. Okay. Here is like a global. Here, my location Mumbai is what? Local to which function? Local to which function? Come on. Local to F8 or not? If it is like local, you can use inside the F8, outside the F8, no. Inside the F8 only, outside the F8, no. Okay, na? So for good, everyone, can I write some other code snippet? Can you answer this? Okay, see. Okay, you know that print to runs. What is my error? Runs is not defined. If I run this one, what happened? Line number 25 block, if I execute, what exactly the output?
It is not. H1 is not defined.
HN is not defined. You're right. Okay, see, print HEN, first this statement is going to execute, but in JavaScript it is valid, but here it is not valid. Whenever you use a member, that member should defined first. After that only you can use the member or not. If the member is not defined, what is the error? You can get it. Not a defined error, you can get it or not. Yes or no? Got my point? So this HEN you have to keep where? Before print, or the print you have to keep outside the after the HEN is like 100 or not. Agreed with me? So for good now? Everyone knows F10 is not defined. What is the error? What is the error?
Captain not defined. Or
F10 is not defined only. You're right. F10 is not defined only. Don't think about the function. See, there has two sections, na? There has two sections. Yes or no? First section is what? What is my first section? What is my first section? F10. First looking for F10. Okay, there or not there? After that it is there, but it is not a matter for me. At the time of executing this statement, F10 there or not there? Before. At the time of executing this statement, first F10 is there or not there?
Not there.
Not there. It is not go to the next level. Immediately it gives me an error is what? F10 is not defined or not. That's it. Immediately it's going to give me an error like what? F10 is not defined or not. Agree with me, all? Okay, so can you conclude one statement? In Python, before using any member, you have to define that member first or not. Yes or no? In Python, before using any member, first you have to define that member and then you can use it. Otherwise, you can get what? You can get the error like this only. So for good?
Yes.
Okay then. Now, so far, how many types of functions we discussed? Functions without parameters, function with parameters. These two we discussed or not? Function with the params. With or without params. Okay, na? Now, I have one small use case is there. Okay, you only answer it. Okay, na? See. I have three persons. Same example you can take it. I have three persons. These three members required sum of 10, 20. So, is it the right way of writing the code? First question. Is it the right way of writing the code? First person. First person, second person, and the third person. Is it the right way? Is it the right way of writing the code? First person, second person, and third person. Is it the right way?
Oh.
No, right? It gives me expected output only. This person requires 10, 20 sum, so that you can see the final sum is 30. This person also required 10, 20. This person also required 10, 20. It is not the right way. So come on, what is the problem? You written like a duplicate code simply. So how we can avoid this problem? Already discussed these things. If any functionality you want multiple places, don't write the same functionality again. Create one function with that functionality. Ask them to use it or not. So can I create a function then? How we can create the function? Define sum, right? N1 equals to 10, N2 equals to 20. My sum equals to N1 plus N2 and print sum. Yes or no? So can I remove this one? What do you have to do? First person, you can ask him to call it sum. So result. Okay, here result. Okay, you can call it. Second person, call what? Sum. Third person, call what? Sum. Which approach is the best approach? Which approach is the best approach? Tell me. Previous one, not this. Which approach is the best? Previous one or this? This one, obviously. Okay. Now extend something more. Each and every person requires sum of their own members. Each and every person requires the sum of their own numbers. So how we can? Their own numbers. How we can? Passing parameters. Yes. Passing parameters. Okay. These things we already discussed. Passing parameters. So here, can I remove these two hard coded values? Okay, here it is what? N1 and here it is what? N2 or not? Agreed with me? All are okay? So for good. Okay then. Now these two scenarios already we covered. Yes or no? Now I have only one person is there. Listen carefully. Important. Only one person is there. He want to find the sum of 1020 only. He want to find the sum of 1020 only. Only one person. Okay. Only one person. He want to find the sum. How many? Which numbers? Tell me. 1020 only. Okay. So if you want the sum, first person, only one person. Okay na? Okay. This person requires sum of 1020. So you can call it. But the thing is here, what only one person is there. That's okay. But this person requires that sum. Okay. 10 times. How many times requires this result? How many times requires this result? How many times? Come on. How many times he requires this result?
10 times.
10 times required. Okay, so 10 times if you want the result, how many times you have to call a function? How many times you have to call a function? You have to call the function 10 times or not? Every time how many lines of code is going to execute? For the same result, every time how many lines of code is going to execute?
4 lines.
4 lines. Entire. Okay, entire functionality. Okay, that means entire first person functionality. How many times how many lines of code is going to execute? Entire functionality, how many lines of code is going to execute?
40.
Come on, 40 lines, right? For example, one line take one second. How many seconds is it going to take to complete? How many seconds it's going to take to complete? Obviously
40.
40 seconds or not. 40 seconds or not. Okay, see here 40 seconds is going to take. You can get the expect output, no problem at all. Here the problem is, for the same result, you are calling the same functionality again and again or not? Is it the recommended way or not? Tell me. Is it the recommended way or not? I ask one question. Hey, 1020 sum is what? 30. If I again ask 1020, value is like what? 30. Again, if I ask, what is the use of that one? For the same functionality, you are asking the question and again and again. Is it recommended way? First tell me. Is it the recommended way? 200% no, right? First time if you get the result, can you do one thing? I asked you like what? Can you tell me 1020 sum? Whenever you given the sum to me, can I store somewhere? Next time whenever I want, instead of reaching to you, already stored that result, right? Can I use that result remaining 9 times? Yes or no? Which one is recommended one? Every time you want me to ask, that is one option like this. Another one is like whenever you give the result first time, I know the same result I want how many times? 10 more times, 9 more times. Can you store that result somewhere? Can I use it 9 times instead of reaching you? Which one is recommended one as you think? Come on. Which one is recommended one? Every time you want me to reach, that is one. First time I can reach you, whatever the result you can get it. That result I want to store, I want to use that result. Which one is recommended one?
Store the
100% right. Store the result or not? Yes or no? Store the result. So the question is like, you said like store the result, agreed. How we can store it? That is the question or not? How we can store the result or not? First thing is like, whenever I ask find the sum of 1020, you have to give the result or not? You have to give it first. If you not give, how we can store? First thing is like, Whenever I ask to find the sum of 10, 20, you have to give the result back or not. My first person asked, find the sum of 10, 20 to whom? To whom he asked? Come on, sum, right? Yes. My sum find the result. Now that result he has to give it or not. So my question is very simple, straight question. How one function gives some result back? Okay, this is like a print. It is not giving print. He used that one, just printed. My question is what? Print given the result to back to that person. You want me to print or you want me to give the result? Come on. You want me to print or you want me to give the result? Come on, as per your requirement.
Give the result.
You have to give the result or not. One function, how it is going to give some result back to the caller who call my sum, first person. So how one function give the result back to the caller means there has one keyword is there, return keyword. Using that return keyword, you can result the, okay, you can return the result or not. Using return keyword, we can return the result. Understood? By using return keyword, you can give the result or not. So simple question. Now onwards, if I ask any time, how one function give the result back to the caller? What is the answer? How one function give the result back to the caller? What is the answer? By using return value or not? But it means using return keyword. Whatever the value, that is the return value. Using return keyword, we can give the data or we can give the value to the caller or not. Agreed? You're okay, everyone? Okay, then. Now you call sum. My sum printed value na, it returns a value na. You can decide now. My sum printed a value or it is written a value. Come on.
Return value.
It's written a value or not. So I asked something to you, you given that result back to me. Okay, one function or any other person, if they given some result back, how we can store the result? That is the question. In programming languages, how we can store some data? In programming languages, how we can store some data? Come on. How we can store some data in programming languages? How we can store the data? By creating?
Variable.
By creating a variable or not? Yes or no? By creating a variable, so that my sum gives me some result. Can I store that result in the variable syntax? You know, right? Result equals to some value. That's it. Now tell me what is the result. Tell me what is the result. 30 is my result or not? Result is nothing but return value. Now how many times you want me to use this? How many times you want me to use this result? I stored. How many times? 10 times. So total, how many lines of code executed here in this case? Last time in this case, how many lines of code executed? 40 lines. So that 40 seconds it is taken. In this case, first to sum, how many lines? Sum, 4 lines. Yes or no? After that, print result, print result, print result. How many times? So 10 times. 10 plus 4 is that 14. Last time? Last time. How many? 40. Where is 14? Where is 40? Which one is recommended one? You want me to execute 14 lines or you want me to execute 40 lines? Both are gives me the same result only, but which one is recommended one? That is the question. Which one is the recommended one? That is the question.
14.
14 lines.
Obviously, right? 14 lines or not. See, when you can go with the return means one function handles some functionality. That functionality result, if you want to use in future, ask them, give me the result. I'm going to store, I can use it instead of reaching you every time or not. Yes or no? So for good. Okay. So can you come here? Can I write some stuff? Okay, you can go with the next kernel. Okay, next notebook. This is the one. No? Can I give the untitled? Here, write a function. Return some value. Simply return some value. That's it. Okay, now? Now listen carefully. Syntactically 100% valid. Return some value. No problem at all. Now, value equals to fn. What is the answer?
Function.
Value equals to fn.
Return the function body.
Okay, it is like a function, right? Function, simply function. Why? Because you're not calling. You assigned what? Fn. My fn is what? It's a function, right? So that my fn assigned to value, my value is like what? Normal function only or not? My fn is like a normal function only. Okay. Now my value equals to fn. The difference did you find? Here you call a function, but here it's like a normal function. Here you call a function. Here you call a function. Here it is like a normal function. Okay. Whenever you call a function, it gives me what? The function body will execute and returns back what? The return value or not. Whenever they return some value, you can hold with one variable or not. Now, what is the value?
10.
What is the value? Okay, the return value of my function or not. Yes or no? Whenever you call a function, that function gives me the return value. Function gives me the return value. Whatever the return value is that return value only it is going to assign or not. Okay, function calling returns me the return value of the function or not. Function calling gives me the return value of the function. Okay, now can I write one more? Okay, syntactically valid or invalid? Yes. What is my result? First of all, it is valid or invalid? First of all, it is valid or invalid?
Valid.
Okay, syntactically 100% valid or not? Why? One function you can call it. If they given some value, I can hold it with the variable. Yes or no? So my question is, what is my result now? See, VTS printed, that's okay. But result value is what? What is my result value? That is the question. What is my result value? Anyone guess? See, the result is what? My F1 calling means my F1 return value or not. Is my F1 returns any value? With my return
No.
keyword, my F1 returns any value? No. If it is not written any value, what is my default value? What is my default value? Okay, nothing. Nothing. No value is like none. Is it written anything? Is my result gives me anything? Is my F1 returns me anything? No,
No.
right? No, right? That's the reason. My result is like what? No value, nothing. No value, nothing. Agreed, everyone? So far, good. Any questions, anyone?
So we can't really renew it unless someone merges that. So you probably, if you have
Okay. Up to okay, everyone? Okay, I'm going to write some code snippet. You only answer it, okay? What is my result? What is my result?
Function F3.
Hmm.
Function F3.
Correct. My result is like, don't think more. F2 you are calling, right? That means you are calling F2. Okay, any number of statements are there, it's not a matter. It's not a matter. The written value, what we have, that is matters for us. Okay, written value is what? F3. So F3, F2 calling returns F3 or not. F3 assigned to whom? Result. So my result is like what? My result is like what? F3 or not? My result is like F3. Yes or no? If I write like this, tell me. If I write like this, what is my result?
None.
Okay, nothing. Empty, right? Okay, my result is like what? Empty or not? Nothing. Why? Because whenever you call F2, F2 returns what? F3 calling. F2 returns me F3 calling. F3 calling means again we have a function F3, you can call it. My F3 calling returns me what? Anything written? F3, anything written? F3, is it returns anything? No, right? If it is not written anything, if my F3 is not written anything, is my F3 is not written anything, what is the value? Empty. So that return empty. My F2 return empty. My F2 calling returns what? Empty. That empty only assigned to result. So finally my result is like what? Empty or not? Yes or no? Agreed with me? All are okay? Come on. So for good? Okay. Can you answer this one? Can I do F4? Mm. If I call my F4, F4 will print or not print? Is my F4 is going to print or not print?
It will not print.
Will never print. Any programming language you can state it. After return statement, if you write some statements, those are like what? Unreachable statements or not. So if I come here, okay, now F4 is not defined. Why? You not executed this block, that the reason. You can execute it. Now come here. Now return value is like a 10. It is returns. My print F4 printed or not printed? Printed or not printed? Not printed. So it's like a unreachable statement. It is like a unreachable statement. Yes or no? Okay. Now, what is my result? What is my result? What is my result? Don't think more. What is my result? A return value of F4.
10.
Return value of F4. What is my return value of F4? 10, right? Okay, don't think more. 10. Yes or no? Okay, na? Okay then. So I want to write some code snippet, just you can answer it. Output should be F5. Can you fill this gap? Can you fill this gap? Hmm? Come on. While calling F5, right? F5. What is the error now? Take one parameter you not supplied, parameter error, you can get it. Okay, na? So one parameter you have to pass it. What is the type of the parameter? What is the type of the parameter? Come on.
Function.
Function. Based on the usage, my A you are using like this or not? Function. So that you have to pass one function as a parameter or not. So can I pass one function as a parameter? Can I pass one function as a parameter? Okay, here you can write the statement. So here can I pass what? F6. So the parameter is what? F6. My A is what? My A value is what?
6.
My A value is F6 or not? A value is F6. My A value is F6. Yes or no? So return what? Come on, return what?
Function result.
Return A or A calling? A calling. So A is nothing but what? A is nothing but what? Come on, F6, right? F6 or not? So A calling means you are calling F6. Can anyone tell me? Calling one function returns me the return value of that function or not? Can I write the return value is F5? Just I'm going to write like this. Now tell me, F5 you are calling, A you passed the value like a F6. So you are calling A means you are calling indirectly F6. F6 returns me what? F5. So that A calling gives me return value of what? F6. So return value of F6 is what? F5 or not? So now come to this one. My F5 returns me what? F5. My F5 returns me some result, so that can I hold that result? Now my result is what? Now my result is what? F5 or not? Yes or no? My result is like F5 or not? Agreed everyone? Understood or not? Hmm? Tell me, are you okay or not? Can I repeat again? Very simple. F5 you are calling. Yes. Passing one parameter. Yes. My parameter type is what? Based on the usage. Don't think more about this one. Only A focus. Based on the usage, what is the type? Based on the usage, what is the type?
Function.
It is like a function type or not? Function type. So you have to pass like a one function. You have to pass like one function. Yes. You have to pass like one function. Once you pass like a function. Yes. Once you pass like a is like a function. What is my function? Which function you pass as a parameter? F6. So you are calling means A, indirectly you are calling what? F6. So you are calling this one. Yes or no? Indirectly you are calling F6. It returns me what? F6. F6 returns me what? Some value. Don't think more. Some return value. So one function calling always gives me what? Return value. What is the return value? F5 or not? Now this function calling returns what? Some value. What is the return value? F5 or not? So that return value can hold it. So finally my F5 calling returns me some value that is called as f5. That result is like f5. My answer also what? Okay, output should be okay, should be f5 by calling f5 method or not f5 or 100. Okay, output should be 100, he said. So you can make it like 100 only, no issues. Now here a calling, yes or no? You call f5, yes. You pass one parameter, yes. My a is my parameter, is nothing but f6. You are calling a means you are calling f6. A calling gives me the value, so that value place here. So now come to f5. Returns what? Return that value. Whenever you call f5, what is the written value is there? That written value hold with what? One variable. So finally the result is like what? That particular okay f5 written value is what? 100 or not? Agreed everyone? Come on. Agreed or not? So far good. Any questions anyone? About the written value? Okay. We'll see remaining things in tomorrow's class with some more examples. Okay. But these are the basic things you have to understand. Why? Because frequently we are going to use this kind of syntaxes only in our application development, so that you have to comfort with this syntax. Okay then, thank you guys. Thanks for joining. Bye.